What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about 5 stocks to watch in the electric vehicle space, but not the type of electric vehicles we usually talk about. These are vehicles that fly, electric airplanes. Let's get right into it.
This is 2 random dudes.
Invest. But before we start, I gotta tell you the reason why I made this video today is actually a new industry that I'm discovering myself, and the faster I can get the info to you, the better. If you got information as well, share it down below. We're all in this together. Imagine in the future, with one app, for just a couple taps, you're gonna have a taxi come pick you up, bring you to a helipad from which an electric helicopter will transport you to a bigger airport. And then from that airport, you can go to another city further away. All that through one app. So that's going to be the future. Or you'll be able to just go from one side of the city to another, all at a cheap, reasonable price. That's actually much cheaper than if you actually took your car. This is an exciting future, and that's why I'm really excited about it. I do have a drone, so that's why this piqued my curiosity. And I'm really excited about these innovative technologies. All these companies we're talking about today are going to be eVTOL companies, which basically means the aircraft should be able to just go vertically up like a helicopter and then fly to its destination. Switching to TradingView. So the first stock in our list is EH, which is Ehang Holdings. It went on a rampage. So it's trading around $10, and then booyah, it just went fly. Right now, I don't have a position in Ehang, but I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do at the end of the video. But first, what is Ehang Holdings? So Ehang is basically the big top dog. They have a model that works. This is the 216. It actually flies, but these guys are already up ahead. So they're the leading pack, and that's why the stock is flying. I'm going to go in details in some of these stocks, and especially Ehang, in another video. But right now I'm just going to brush through. So these are basically the models they have. The regular 2-seater, the 216. They have a Firefighter Edition. And then they also have a 1-seater, the 116. The hype is real. So they're actually expanding in multiple countries. Their basic goal is to come in with these shows that they show people around in their vehicle. And they also want to promote their firefighting capabilities of their drone. So there we got the Firefighter. And then after, they're going to come in with their delivery. That's the next step. And also their air taxis. And that's the big future potential right there for Ehang in the industry. Smart city management. Aerial media, they could do crazy stuff like this, which is pretty cool. They did it for Volkswagen. And obviously they're gonna make some more money, but we're gonna get into that in another video. So that's Ehang. Right now they're high, but I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do for all of these at the end of the video. Moving on to the second one. The following 3 companies, they're planning deployment between 2023 and 2025. It's in a couple years, but it's promising. But if it works out, it could be a home run. So the first company is Joby. So right now, it's not really clear who Joby is going to be merging with. The rumor is it's going to merge with a SPAC. So that's one rumor, but it's not confirmed. Just the point is, it's a real company. And they are actually, so here is the article with LinkedIn and Zynga founders, near deal to buy flying taxi startup Joby. It's not definitive just yet, so we're gonna have to wait and see. You can check out the article yourself, do your own due diligence. One of the main reasons why Joby is number 2 on the list, because it is part of the Air Force's Agility Prime program and part of NASA's Grand Challenge to accelerate advanced air mobility. They're working with the Air Force and with NASA right now. So that means governmental institutions are taking them seriously. So it's not just a flaky company, they actually mean business. So right now, Joby has a prototype and it has serious backing from Toyota. A lot of these eVTOL companies have like a different car manufacturer supporting them. This one is Toyota. Rewind, I forgot to mention something super key, which is Uber actually sold its Uber Aviation part of the business, and they sold it to Joby Aviation. Uber sold Uber Aviation to Joby, which is fantastic for Joby, and that's why it's number 2, because they're gonna have that Uber really nice software tech side, which is paramount in my opinion. You could have the best plane in the world, but if the app sucks, like nobody's gonna use it, or it's just not gonna be as good as if you have that nice sleek Uber design. And that's why Uber went up and taxis went down, sadly, but that's just the reality of things. People like convenience. They want it now before I think about it in my hand. Moving on to number 3. So that is Archer, and Archer actually has a definitive agreement with ACIC, which is a SPAC. I actually bought some warrants because right now the sector is hot. I'm going to treat this as a swing trade. So I'm just going to ride the momentum and I'm hopefully going to make some profit, maybe lose some money, but I'm banking on the wave to go back up. Or I might load up on a little bit more warrants at the bottom here if it goes to the $3 line. Let's check out some futuristic images from Archer. So at the beginning, they had this fancy looking CGI rendering, but now they apparently do have an actual prototype that flies fantastic. So what makes Archer interesting is that they're partnered with Fiat that helps them to figure things out with engineering and maintenance. And Archer is actually backed and partnering with United Airlines. Key little fact, Archer has $1 billion of orders from United Airlines because basically they're partnering together. United is like, hey, you make me some planes and you're gonna get a cut of the deal. Probably not how that happened, but you get the deal. They're partnering with this bleeding edge tech company to hopefully get into the space, which is really competitive and it really demands capital. All these companies, if they don't have enough capital, and you just will never hear about them again unless they get capital. And this is why a lot of them are going to SPACs right now, because if you don't get capital, everybody flying into SPAC world and you're just gonna be trailing in the back. So Archer has a flying prototype, and apparently they're doing test flights every week. So there is stuff happening. It's an industry where safety is paramount and they have to just test. And the regulators are actually making new standards with the new technology that these companies are developing, which is a pretty exciting thing, but this takes time. You need to test and test. That's why it's going to take a couple years. So as the rep from Archer said, we'll be launching in a few cities and a few routes in 2024, and they'll be scaling operations up from there. So they're really aiming for 2024. Moving on to number 4. In number 4, we got Lilium, which is rumored to merge with a SPAC. It's not really sure which one just yet. It seems like it might go with RPT. It might go with ZNTE right here. It's really not clear who it's merging with, but the point is, it is a company to look out for. I'm going to show you some quick, sexy images of flying vehicles. This is the website of Lilium. Looks pretty slick. Ooh, very nice. A curvy machine. Very cool. So those wings actually lift up vertically to go up, and then they go fly horizontally, so it can actually have higher speed. So they have some info on the website. Looks very designer. This is Lilium. Lilium is just another player in the game, and like with everybody else, you need capital, and that's why they're looking to merge with a SPAC to get a lot of capital injected into them. It's a different design. Wish them all the best, but it's a number 4. There's plenty of other players out there. If you know any more, comment down below. So what am I gonna do with all this? And before I tell you, there's a key graph on the Vertical Flight Society. I mean, this is not the end all be all of things, but it's quite clear that in their view, we are here. So that's the innovation trigger. It went really high, it goes up. There's gonna be a peak of hype right now. It's hyping, all right. So that's why I will personally dollar cost average in what I think will be the top 3. Ehang seems like one of the top 3 to get into right now. Put a small position, maybe like a little less than 1% of my entire portfolio into them in a couple of like a weeks or two. I'll see how it goes, but it's a small investment. All of these are highly speculative. This is not something you put in like 10% of your portfolio. You could, but you could lose a lot of money, especially if you're new to this and you don't use stop losses. And even if you use stop losses, it could go right through in after hours and then you could be screwed. So it is, just be very careful. I'm sharing this because this is an industry that I'm really excited about. I'm actually gonna do some short-term trading, a swing trade, and I wanna sell at the top ideally, or somewhere higher than I bought it for, and that's my plan. And last but not least, number 5, which is different than the other ones, which is Blade. So Blade is right now gonna merge with EXPC, which is a SPAC. It's been running up quite a bit. It was at $10, and then once it got announced, it went playing around in the 13.5 to 16 range, and then it kind of pulled out. What Blade is, it's kind of the Uber of helicopter transportation. I don't know if it's just me, but this looks exactly like Uber Black, but it's Blade Black, operated by Zoby Aviation. Blade is if Uber had a baby with a aviation chartering company, and then they had Blade. It's supposed to be an app that makes it super easy to book helicopter rides. They make money off the service. Right now, Blade uses regular helicopters, but in the future, what's really exciting about this field, once the battery tech and the cost of flying these helicopters, eVTOLs, will be diminished, and it's going to be much, much cheaper. It will basically change the way we transport ourselves in the city, between the city. Have you bought any of these 5 stocks, or are you maybe considering other ones? Definitely let us know below. Together, we are stronger as a tribe of investors, and that's what pumps me and Brent up. If you got any value out of this, would really appreciate a little like down below. It would really help us with the YouTube algorithm. Gently tap that like button. Thank you very much. We carry on. So I'm actually gonna make a detailed video on Archer and as well on Ehang, the big top dog. So don't miss those. They're gonna be up there somewhere. Stay curious. Peace.